Hello, everyone, and welcome into another episode of Sports Betting by Dummies. I am your host, Patty Parlays, and joining me as always, the voice of God, the Green Goblin himself, Dizz. Dizz, welcome in, buddy.
Hey, thank you. Crazy work week. Ready to put that behind us and get some winners and enjoy the hell out of this conference championship weekend.
Absolutely, absolutely. And joining us again for the second straight day on the second straight episode, the gambler who has never lost, Tyler. Tyler, welcome back.
Thank you, Pat. Good to be here. Happy Friday, guys.
Yes, happy Friday. But I do think you may be the only podcaster on a gambling show that has never, ever lost.
My theory is you can't lose if you don't bet.
Hey, that is true.
That should not be the new theory of our podcast.
That's not
No, it's a personal theory.
Yeah, that's a Tyler theory. We're just
our podcast is bet together, win together.
Yes, say he gets it. He understands.
But if you don't bet at all, then you
can't lose.
Shit on that slogan.
Hey, man, I'm here.
I'm just kidding.
You know what Tyler's
doing
to
make
for
sure
us?
the podcast goes smoothly.
That is true. But Tyler's not even betting, but he's willing to curse his favorite basketball teams so that the podcast can get winners on the podcast.
It is true. I'll hide this. I'll hide these until you get later into the show and announce your picks. But then everyone on YouTube will be able to see.
A little bit of a tease there, but yeah, that's what's happening. So even though it is Friday and there are football games this weekend, like we said yesterday, it's kind of RIP to Football Friday, but there are games, so we have picks for everyone, and we will discuss these games in length. So the first game, actually I don't know if it's the first game, but one of the games we have Bengals at Chiefs. The Chiefs are 7.5 point favorites at home, and the over-under is at 54.5. And then the 49ers at the Rams. The Rams are 3.5 point favorites at home, and the over-under is 45.5. So I'm just going to go ahead and start off right off the bat, Diz. I actually have a two-leg teaser that I put in for these matchups, and I did a 5-point teaser. So I did Chiefs minus 2.5, and I did 49ers plus 8.5.
That's literally exactly what I did.
Hey, look at that! Look at that! That's awesome. We didn't even communicate. We're already betting together, win together. You almost need to lock that in, like just right now.
I can't believe. Is that one of your dumbest dummies?
No,
of course not.
Good.
It might be a group best bet though, if that's what we're on. I don't know if we can do teasers for group best bets, but it might happen.
I mean, it's in the value range.
That it is. My next bet, Diz, I have Cam Akers under 61.5 rushing yards at minus 114. So this leads into that 49ers-Rams game. The 49ers defense is their strong point, obviously, and especially their run defense. They held Ezekiel Elliott in check against the Cowboys. They held Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon in check last weekend against the Packers in a snowy conditions where running ball would probably be ideal. So I like this 49ers run defense. Cam Akers looked shaky last week. He fumbled twice when the Bucs were coming back. He may not even see the full number of snaps he's used to, so I really like Cam Akers under 61.5 rushing yards.
What do you think about, with the Rams being favored, them trying to run some clock like they did against Tampa Bay? Well, I guess like they tried to do against Tampa Bay.
So Tyler, if you could, real quick, on your phone or whatever, look up how many rushing yards Cam Akers had last week against the Buccaneers, because I want to say it was less than 61.5.
And that was with them having the lead the whole time.
Right.
Let's see. Come on, ESPN app killing me. Give me a second.
You're good. While he's doing that, Diz, do you have another pick for these games?
I really like the over in the Niners Rams. I think that 45.5 is an insanely low number. I know that both defenses are strong, but in a conference championship game, you have to imagine. I can't believe the number's that low.
What's
I'm ready when you are. I got it up.
yeah? What do you
You
got?
said Cam Akers rushing yards last game?
Yeah,
48.
yeah. So
He,
I think that's my point. Is
yeah, he
I
was
like it.
absolutely bottled up. 24 carries, 48 yards, 2
24
average.
carries. So that's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, they were up the whole game. They were running the ball, 24 carries, and he only got 48 rushing yards. I really love Cam Akers under 61.5 rushing yards.
He also lost 2 fumbles.
Right, he did do that. So one of those fumbles happened on like the 1 yard line. So even if he doesn't fumble there and gets one more carry, he maybe gets another yard there. Who knows what happens late in the game when they're trying to run the clock down and he fumbles on like the very first snap. But again, I think the 49ers actually win this game, and I think that the 49ers will have the lead as opposed to the Rams having the lead and running the ball a lot. So, which leads me to my next pick, which is the 49ers defense / special teams touchdown at plus 500 Dizz.
Heinous.
If this game goes like I think it will, 49ers get the lead, Rams have to keep up or score, so that means Matthew Stafford slinging the rock around. We know Matthew Stafford has some interception problems, especially later in the year. The lights shine bright. I could see Matthew Stafford trying too hard and then just throwing a ridiculous pick six that could ultimately end up costing the Rams their season.
Heinous pick. They got one last week. I don't think it's going to happen again. And it was on the punt. And Green Bay had the worst special teams in the league.
I'm not even going for special teams. I'm really thinking the defense will get ones, or maybe Bosa, strip sack, return for a touchdown. I mean, what are we talking about here?
I'm not a fan of that pick, but hey, if it happens, I'll be juiced for you.
Hey, Pat, I like the pick. Seeing Akers turning it over twice last week, that's obviously,
Ooh.
coming back, that's just turnovers there. As we know, Stafford has been turnover prone later in the season like this, and we've never really seen him in a game this big. Every game he plays from here on out this season is the biggest game of his career.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think the lights might get bright eventually. I mean, just the more turnovers they give, the more opportunities they have to get that defensive touchdown.
Bingo, my guy. I like the ride there. Diz, do you have anything else in these games? Because I still have maybe 5 more.
Did you hear my over?
Yeah, the 49ers over. Rams 49ers over.
Just no comment, or did I hit a dead spot when?
It's not one of mine. I stayed away from that total. I could see this game going either direction over under wise, so I just really didn't want to touch that one.
Yeah, I have one more pick, and it's about both games. It's a FanDuel prop.
Yes.
At least one successful 2-point conversion was plus 110.
Yes.
I thought that was nuts. I thought that was wild. I jumped on that immediately.
I love that one. I definitely took that one as well. Especially these games when they're either super close and so every point matters, or a team's trying to claw back late in the game. Those 2-point conversions seem to happen more in the playoffs. So I absolutely love that. I did take that. That wasn't one of my remaining ones, but that was definitely one that caught my attention. I definitely took as well.
Oh, yeah.
I believe, too, if you look on the FanDuel specials, you can get any non-quarterback to throw a touchdown pass at plus 1,200 odds.
Don't do it.
We are getting this late in the season. Crazy things happen, especially with the Chiefs. The Chiefs, they really like to run the wacky packages. A tight end taking the snap, whether it be Kelsey or Bell that took it last week. Or, maybe we see an OBJ or Mohamed Sanu touchdown pass. You just never know what's going to happen. So it might be worth a flyer, Diz. I know you're not a big fan of it, but it might be worth a flyer.
I'm all about value.
So my next pick, I'm going Bengals team total over 23 at minus 112.
Jeez.
So the thing about the Chiefs defense is against good quarterbacks this season. They've given up 30 plus points, whether it be Herbert, they gave up 30 plus points to Joe Burrow. They gave up, 30 plus points to Josh Allen. It's any good quarterback has been able to tear up this Chiefs defense, and 23 seems way too low, especially in a high total game, which then leads to my other bet that's related to this. I'm taking the Chiefs Bengals over 54.5. If I think the Chiefs are going to win by more than 3 points, and I think the Bengals are going to go more than 23, that math just adds up for an over in that category as well.
Yeah, I was thinking about teasing both overs. So whether it be with only two, I'd probably do like 4 or 5 points. So
Yeah.
just have to be like 50 for Chiefs Bengals and then like 40 for Rams Niners.
Yep. And then we get to my boy Deebo Samuel, the God. I'm taking Deebo Samuel to have 50 plus rushing and 50 plus receiving yards at plus 220. Nothing to say here. Deebo is that 49ers offense. Where the 49ers offense goes where Deebo goes, and I think Deebo shows up and shows out.
My only concern with that one is McVay has to have something up his sleeve to stop him. And I think the Niners may utilize George Kittle a lot more this game because they've been relying so heavily on Deebo. That's my only concern.
Could be.
And the receiving and rushing is tough because does he do that often? That seems very tough to do. I know he runs the ball a lot for them, but that seems tough.
I don't know off the top of my head how often he has hit this. I think the key here, Tyler, is the rushing yards. Can you look and see how many rushing yards Deebo Samuel has on the season?
I'll look through games real quick. Let's
Okay.
see. No, or per season. I know last game he had 39, which is let's see. For the 2021 year, he is averaging. Let's see. He has 365 yards on the season in 59 attempts.
Yeah, so not great, but you're taking a little bit of a risk, with the plus 220 value.
But he did get 10 carries last week. I'm gonna go through and see what he's had like the last few games, at least in the playoffs. So we had 10 carries last week and 10 carries the week before, where he had 72 yards.
Yeah, so he's
definitely trending upwards.
He's getting the carries, especially later on in the season. He's been getting the carries. I think particularly because he can be injury prone at times. I think they kind of limited his attempts in the times he was getting the ball throughout the season. But now it's playoff time. It's win or go home. They're going to give him every shot that they have. So I'm running with it.
What are the I don't know if anyone has this handy. Can we look up the value on a Jimmy G interception?
Jimmy G interception. It's not.
He's thrown one in every playoff game.
Oh.
And I think especially in an instance where the Niners are coming from behind, which they are the underdogs. Me and you both think they're going to win, but at some point you'd imagine they're going to be losing this game. Jimmy G is going to have to throw the ball a little bit. He's had some heinous throws in this playoffs. I wonder what the value is.
I think I have to go to DraftKings because I don't think FanDuel offers interception props. Let's. So Jimmy G over a half interception is at minus 150. But the shocking thing here is Matthew Stafford over a half an interception is at minus 110. That's the one that might interest me more than anything else. But on DraftKings days, you have to drop the minus 150 value if you want Jimmy G over an interception.
Gotcha.
My second to last one here, Dizz, OBJ, anytime touchdown, plus 140. We've seen kind of a resurgence here, especially of late with OBJ getting the ball. And I think, when it comes down to it, the 49ers are going to try to stop Cooper Kupp. I mean, why would you not try to stop Cooper Kupp? Which means OBJ seems to be the next logical option. So I think OBJ could see a touchdown in this game.
I like that pick. I may take this one. He scored in every playoff game so far, hasn't he?
Oh, I didn't even know OBJ scored last week.
Maybe he didn't.
I know he's been getting a lot more targets and receptions of late, especially in the playoffs.
For sure. I would support that as well. Hey, fun fact, did you hear about OBJ's salary?
No. I mean,
so he accepted his
The Bitcoin.
The Bitcoin, yes.
he accepted his for the listeners, he accepted his LA Rams salary in Bitcoin. And since he signed the deal, the value of Bitcoin has plummeted. After Los Angeles taxes, which is about 50%, he's only making, like, if it were to end right now, he's only going to make like $30,000 this season.
That's why I never understood why players were like, I'm going to take my salary in Bitcoin. Like, you do realize
it goes, well, in his defense, I feel like he has enough money. You could try it out. I think it goes both ways. For like someone who's not as known or not as sponsored and not as paid as Odell is, it wouldn't make sense. Like a rookie should never do that.
Yeah.
With how volatile Bitcoin is. But I think it's a good lesson for other players that maybe this isn't a good idea. But if it went the other way, he'd be making so much money. So I get it from his perspective, but just kind of funny to be like, what an idiot.
Well, isn't it? I mean, it's kind of safe for him because I believe since he was cut by the Browns and then made it through waivers, I believe he's still getting money from the Browns too. So it's kind of just, icing on the cake for him. It was easy to take that risk.
We think. Now, as long as he didn't convert like the Browns, what the Browns was paying him to Bitcoin, then I would agree.
Okay. Oh, he did?
No, he didn't.
Okay, so it's just the Rams. So yeah, I think he was going to take a pay cut from the Rams anyways. So
yeah,
but yeah, it's certainly interesting.
I know Spencer Dinwiddie requested it from the Nets back in the day, but it was denied. Something against the in their contracts, the Players Association vetoed it.
Well, and that's interesting too because, well, I'm trying to think how that would work. So would you just take the money that you would have gotten in dollars on the contract, invest it into Bitcoin, and then you can cash out whenever you want?
I mean, I'd assume
no idea
what they did. I feel like there's no chance the Rams actually said, hey, here's your Bitcoin. It had to have been like they gave him the money and it went straight into Bitcoin before it touched his hand.
Yeah, and if it's not like a fully guaranteed contract like the MLB, how would that work? Like over time, where your game checks would just go into...
Yeah, is he just getting a game check in Bitcoin?
And it just keeps going up his value in Bitcoin every single time?
You could just say, hey, give me cash this week.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. But anyways, I have one more, Dizz, and this is the one that you're going to lose your mind on.
A good way or a bad way?
Bad way. You're just gonna laugh at me and you're gonna say you're ridiculous, and this is why you never win any bets. I am going Tyler Boyd 2+ touchdowns at plus 1900. Now, Dizz, why am I going with Tyler Boyd, and why am I going with 2+ touchdowns?
Plus 1900.
It had nothing to do with the value. I was locking this in before I saw the value.
That's cap.
Now, let me tell you why, Dizz. What did the Chiefs do defensively last weekend against the Buffalo Bills? Besides nothing. I was waiting for the absolutely nothing and let them score in like a minute.
Did they blitz a lot, maybe?
Who on the Bills was basically a no-show last weekend?
Stephon
Diggs. The Chiefs locked down the number one wide receiver for the Bills, which led to Gabriel Davis getting 4 touchdowns and breaking the record. Now, who's the number one option for the Bengals? It's obvious. Jamar Chase. Okay?
Yep.
I would even argue the number 2 is probably T. Higgins.
Yep.
I think the Chiefs were able to lock down on Dawson Knox last weekend as well. He was there, but he wasn't, super notable, I don't believe. So I would say arguably T. Higgins is probably number 2 compared to Usama. And so I think that the focus is going to be everywhere except for Tyler Boyd. So I think Tyler Boyd is the one that eats this weekend.
Don't know how I feel about that. Do you believe that? Do you believe that the Chiefs
are going to stop Jamar Chase? Yes, I do.
Okay, that was my first question. You think the Chiefs can stop Jamar Chase? And also, a lot of that Gabriel Davis was because Tyrann Mathieu was out of the game. Is Tyrann Mathieu out of this game?
I believe it is questionable. It is looking like he is going to play, I believe. But
so
even then,
plays,
Mathieu maybe guards T. Higgins, leaving the third option, Tyler Boyd, as the one to feast. So I have a little bit of a leeway there.
I see what you're saying, and I like your point. But it was essentially next man up, right?
Yeah.
So the fourth best secondary member of that Chiefs defense was on Gabriel Davis. If Tyrann Mathieu plays, then that shifts. And then the guy who was on Kelsey or Tyreek Hill or whoever it's not going to be the exact same secondary from the Chiefs.
Right.
They're going to be healthier.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm still like.
But I like your take. I like your take.
Well, I mean, even if Mathieu does play, normally he would be the one to be boxed on the number 1 receiver because he plays safety. He's not normally going to be man on man, and he's covering the tight end or the running back.
Right. So you would think, but that does free up the number 1 corner maybe to go chase T. Higgins or Usama, but I still think Boyd's the guy to look for this weekend.
Before we cut this, can we look at the props for Chiefs total sacks because Joe Burrow may get assaulted again?
Let's see. Defense, special teams. That's not what I wanted.
Boys, I have horrendous news while Patty looks this up. I'm hitting stop and go traffic near the Whiteland dead spot.
Oh, no.
This is a bad day. This is bad news because 1, I'm still 30 minutes from home.
Right.
And I'm in stop and go. And 2, you may lose me on the pod, but I'm gonna ride with you till I cut.
I'm not seeing anything on betting like the over under on total team sacks, Dizz.
Okay.
We might need to do more research and figure that out, but yeah, I don't have anything.
While you do that, I'm trying to look up the actual team stats to see how, see the Chiefs pass rush totals compared to what they had. Okay, so far the Chiefs have 4 sacks this postseason.
Not great, but
yeah.
If there's a game or a team to get right against, it's definitely the Bengals.
Well, I mean that's in 2 games, right?
Right.
And they were not blitzing against the
Bills.
Well, who'd they play in the
Steelers? They played the Steelers and the Bills.
Yeah. So.
But the Bills have a decent line. I wouldn't say the Steelers have a great line at all, though.
No, I don't think so either. But then that game wasn't super close either, so.
Yeah, they weren't really blitzing. They were probably just hanging back in coverage.
Yeah, and they weren't necessarily like super hungry getting after it. And they may not have been playing some of their starters if it got out of hand early. So, all right. Anything else, Dizz or Tyler, for football before we move on to the rest of this wonderful episode?
I was just
Football Friday.
I was just wondering about your thoughts on Mixon, though, since that will be an outdoor game.
See, that was
just for the listeners.
I was going back and forth between Boyd and Mixon, 2+ touchdowns. The thing with Mixon, and I think if I'm correct, the Chiefs are actually really good against the run, but that's also because they don't face the run that often. So it's kind of one of those where it's like you could see it going either direction. I felt much better about the patchy Chiefs pass game and the explosiveness of the Bengals pass offense. But there's definitely no doubt in my mind that I could see Mixon getting at least 1, maybe 2, and having, maybe 100 some rushing yards, especially if they're looking to possess the ball and keep Patrick Mahomes on the sidelines. But if the Chiefs get up early, then that might go out the window.
Yeah, I just wanted to hear your opinion on that because
it's a good point. It's a good question.
Yeah, it's Football Friday. I wanted to extend the football talk a little more.
Hey, I understand that, and that's why we got you here, Tyler. Also, the lighting in your room change was crazy.
Yeah, it gets dark early here, and I don't have a light on here. I can turn one on.
No, you're fine. You're still looking fine. Your face is a little bright and shiny, but that's
that's just monitors. It is a big screen. Here, let me hit this, and that'll tone it down a little bit.
There you go. That's much better. But you were talking earlier. You were
Yeah.
talking earlier about, hey, look at the light in this room with no lamp and everything, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, where'd it go?
I was looking beautiful in that light. It was the golden hour.
Nice. All right,
Oh,
Dizz.
here we go. Give you some purple lighting.
Ooh. Let's review the dumbest dummy picks from yesterday. I went 0 for 2. Dizz, how did you do?
I went 1 and 1. Nope.
1 and 2.
Shit.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 and 2. One of my 3x2s hit. The other one did not, and then Tsitsipas got absolutely torched. So I'm just in a bad. Australian Open's done for me. I guess that's not true. I do have Dizz's degenerate pick of the day with Danielle Collins this weekend. That could be huge for me if I clap that. But 1 and 2, not great. But it's above par for this month.
Which 3x2 hit?
I don't know.
Wow. And you give me all this crap all the time about betting on stuffs and not watching, and you just have no idea. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Let's hope I don't crash my car. It was the Warriors Timberwolves plus 100.
That was the one that hit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you said you were taking the Lakers and the who did the Lakers play last night? I don't know who it was, but it was another like not very high volume 3-point shooting team, and I was kind of like, not sure you should take it, but it is what it is. We learn, we love, we move on. All right, Diz, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 dumbest dummy picks. Do you want me to go ahead since you are in the Whiteland dead spot for the next 30 minutes?
Jesus Christ.
You thought just because I had a 3... Oh, wait. First off, let's go ahead and do this. So I am down 5.48 units on the month. Diz is down 8.31 units in the month. So Diz, you thought...
Wait, say that again. Say that again.
I am down 5.48.
Okay.
You are down 8.31.
All right, so you're telling me there's a chance.
You think just because I have a 3-unit lead on you going into the second to last episode that's going to restrain me from making the picks that I want to make? Absolutely not.
Pat needs that money.
All right, Pat. I'm gonna level with you here.
Okay, here we go. What do you got?
I left the office late as balls.
Okay.
I need to run into Target and get a cookie cake. I'm about 5 minutes away. I'm going to give my dumbest dummies.
Okay.
And then take your sweet ass time with yours. I'm going to run in, grab the cookie cake, and I'm going to time it perfectly. By the time I get out here, I'll be golden. I'm going to have an AirPod in the store, which I know is a serial killer move. So just in case you're done before I'm out of there. But if you wouldn't mind, let me give my dumbest dummy first because I'm not yet at the Target. By the way, the Whiteland dead spot traffic, there was a crash literally right in front of me, and I was so close to the crash that I could drive around it before traffic got stopped. So I don't know if that's poor Samaritanship by me or if I got away with one.
Well, nonetheless, Diz, go ahead and grace us with your dumbest dummy picks.
Okay, so I got the teaser that me and Patty agreed on. 4-point teaser, Chiefs minus 2.5 and 49ers. I'm sorry, Chiefs minus 2.5 and 49ers plus 8.5.
I had it at 5 points.
5-point teaser. Yeah. You're right. That's what I had as well. Then I had at least one 2-point conversion to be converted in the 2 games this weekend. That one is at plus 110. And then I got Giannis. I said Giannis. His name's Giannis. Giannis first basket Friday plus 310. Not great value, but I really want to hit it. I'm really feeling good. Pat told me Bucks Knicks was the game to do, so I'm following with that. I think he's doing the same thing, but he probably has a different first basket winner. Am I wrong, Patty?
No, you are correct. And you want me to go ahead and go with that one first, since that's the one you were just talking about?
Yeah, sure.
So I went with Julius Randle plus 650 for that game. Now, Dizz was absolutely correct. That is the game for tonight. If you are doing First Basket Friday, FanDuel, go in, click on the promos, click First Basket Friday. Make sure you opt in. Put $25 on a first basket of a game tonight. Regardless of if it hits or not, you get $1 back for every 3-pointer hit. So just out of making sure that you're picking a good game, you want to pick a game that's looking to average more than 25 3-pointers. This Knicks Bucks game, that is certainly one of them. They both average more than 13 3-pointers for each team. So we're looking at more than 26 alone. And they both rank top 10 in 3-pointers made and bottom 10 in the league in 3-pointers allowed. So these teams shoot a lot of threes, but don't defend the three very well. So we're liking that game just in general. Now, as far as my boy, Julius Randle, did he delete that? I think the guy deleted it. Oh, wait, no, here we go. So Robinson is tipping for the Knicks. He wins 58% of the tips that he does compared to Bobby Portis, who wins only 46%. And in the one game that they played earlier, the Knicks won the tip. Robinson won the tip over Portis. So I like the Knicks to get the first basket. Now, the Bucks give up the second most baskets to the power forward position, and Julius Randle is the number one first shot taker, first field goal maker for the Knicks. So I really like the value at plus 650. So that's what I got for that for First Basket Friday. The rest of my bets here, I've got Will Barton over 3.5 assists at minus 158. CJ McCollum over 2.5 threes at minus 148. Zach LaVine under 3.5 threes at minus 180. DeMar DeRozan under half a three at minus 184. Keldon Johnson over 1.5 threes at minus 156. Mitchell Robinson over 7.5 points at minus 106. Chris Middleton over 18.5 points at minus 122. Giannis over 26.5 points at minus 110. Bobby Portis over 8.5 rebounds, and Chris Middleton over 4.5 assists at minus 140. Now, if you parlay every single one of those props together, not including the First Basket Friday, you can get plus 2,000 or 24,431 on the odds. And so,
Jesus,
let's have ourselves a night, boys. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you for that. Appreciate that.
And that was just well spoken.
I try. You would think after doing this for as long as we've been doing it now, I would be able to get all that out and handle it in a certain manner, but that doesn't always happen.
That's fair. You are the OG at this.
Or something like that. Okay. Dizz, group best bets. Do you have time to do this before you go into Target?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as a group, we are actually down 2.25 units because we went 0 for 3 last night. Now, I just want to put a disclaimer on this. Okay. One of the ones we had was Panthers Golden Knights over 7, right, Diz?
Yep.
The Panthers did their part. The Panthers scored 4. The Golden Knights put up a 1-piece on Spencer Knight. I don't know if it was great goalkeeping or if the Golden Knights just didn't put up points last night, but we got half of that one. So, I feel like we were on the right side of that one. The other one, the Timberwolves not covering the 6.5. What do I always say about the Timberwolves, Diz, whenever betting on them in the NBA? You may not know this. This was a me and Connor thing. I don't know if you'll know this, but it was a me and Connor thing.
They're trash?
No. If the Timberwolves have 3 players that matter, Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards. If all 3 of them are playing, I like to take them against the spread. If one of them, if even one of them's not out, you cannot rely on the Timberwolves. Last night, D'Angelo Russell got hurt halfway through that game. If he plays that full game, I think there's a good chance that the T-Wolves end up covering the 6.5. I think they lost by like 9. So I felt like we just got unlucky with that one.
That hurts.
Yeah. But for tonight, obviously, we want the teaser, the Chiefs 49ers teaser.
Of course.
I really like Dizz that 2-point conversion one.
Well, you're taking all my picks, so you either climb with me or we fall in a hail of shit.
Gunfire.
We bet together, win together.
Bingo, Tyler. Tyler gets it. And then, so tonight I couldn't believe this line, but how do we feel about the Rangers money line versus the Wild, Dizz, at home? I believe it is a retirement jersey night for the Rangers, so it'll be buzzing. The Rangers got their good goalie in net versus the backup goalie for the Minnesota Wild. I'm liking the Rangers at home tonight.
What's the value?
What's the value? Let me check.
I'm always down for a home dog in the NHL.
What's the angle? Plus 114.
Lock it in.
I don't know how this value is at plus 114. I'm just going to throw it
Lock
up there.
it in.
I'm just here for, after last night, how much we were let down by the Golden Gophers and the Twills for Dizz.
Yeah.
I think we should just go ahead and fade Minnesota. Just fade the state tonight.
Exactly.
Good call, Tyler.
Exactly. That's a very good point.
I mean, we all saw what the Vikings went out and did this year, so let's fade Minnesota for at least tonight.
Yep, I'm with it. Fade Minnesota.
Love it. All right, so a surprising addition to the episode, we actually have some celeb bets from Tyler's roommate, Jake. So,
would you like me to get him in here?
No, I can give him. I got him.
Right.
I got him on the ready. First off, he liked the Bengals plus 7.5 and the Niners plus 3.5. So he liked the dogs this weekend and the hook. I think he is not in the minority there. I think a lot of people like the dogs this weekend. He also liked Juwan Jennings plus 480 anytime touchdown. Now, if you're like Tyler, you're like, who is Juwan Jennings? I believe he is the number 3 wide receiver for the 49ers. 3 or 4? He's on the depth chart somewhere.
He's down there.
he sees targets. He sees playing time. So he likes Juwan Jennings anytime touchdown at plus 480. Then I actually have 3 4-leg parlays from Jake as well.
Very bold. Very bold.
I think the lowest odds. Oh, he did send that triple-double one over here, but the lowest odds on his are plus 25,000 on these. So the first one he has Franz Wagner 20-plus points in Orlando to win. He has Trae Young 30-plus points in Atlanta to win. He has Terry Rozier 20-plus points in Charlotte to win. And then Ja Morant double-double in Memphis to win. That is $1 to win $253.58. And then his other one, he has Cole Anthony to score 15-plus points. LaMelo Ball to record a triple-double. Josh Giddey to record a triple-double. And DeJounte Murray to record a triple-double. That is $1 to win $671.48. So shout out to our guy Jake giving us some celeb bet for Friday.
Bringing it back.
That's right.
Bringing it back.
That is right. Hopefully all those
getting very dark in this room.
Dizz decided that he was not going to try to be a psychopath and have an AirPod in or anything like that. So that just leaves us, Tyler. There is only 2.
Would this be the opportune time to go ahead and talk about the 2 basketball teams we are fading tonight?
We're not there yet. Hold on. Wait till we get to the multi-sport. We got to do the Captain Chaos theory of the night.
Oh, that's first.
That's
first.
Wow.
So
we're going there first. Now, again, to remind people, Chaos theory, we look at underdogs to win. You see it happen a lot more in March Madness. That's where it originated. I sometimes on occasion will do it if I like a lot of money line underdogs tonight. So I took all of these as money line on the or underdogs on the money line, and then I also did a round robin of 4x5s. So if 4 of these 5 hit, I'm making some sort of money here. But on the money line, it is $1 to win 352.52. So
I'm impressed.
yeah, as you should be.
Some good value. That is some quality value.
I like the Red Wings money line versus the Penguins. Pistons money line versus Magic. I know Jake just said to have the Magic win, so we're kind of going head to head in that one.
I'm not sure those picks were researched. I'm just gonna put that out there.
We will assume that Jake knows what he's talking about. Pelicans money line versus the Nuggets. Timberwolves money line versus the Suns, and Knicks money line versus the Bucks. So again, if we get 4 of those, we're in business. But if we hit all 5, then we're really,
Raking it in.
We're partying. Now, speaking of partying, Tyler, you already saw this value. You've already shared this value, but this is the multi-sport Hail Mary parlay of the day. But why don't you go ahead and show us your shirt and your jacket and explain why this has meaning on tonight's podcast or tonight's endeavors.
All right, so I'm new to the podcast, and as you can hear by my voice, clearly an Indiana boy, born and raised. I grew up a Timberwolves fan, big fan of Kevin Garnett. And when Kevin Garnett got traded to the Celtics, I was traded with him. I think I think like a second round pick was included in that just for
Package
my fandom.
deal. Yeah.
As you know, I mean, I was in high school at that time, so I was up and coming. I was a prospect.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, as a Celtics fan, I bought a very nice Celtics shirt, very unique, and I thought, okay, this is perfect to wear on game day. I've never seen anyone else rocking the Celtics after school special. This little number right here for the viewers, as you can see, it is designed by elementary schoolers. It's beautiful. Sadly, every time I've worn this shirt on game day, the Celtics have lost. It's tragic. And as I said, growing up an Indiana boy, still got love for the Pacers. I got this little number here at a Pacer game, and I've worn it every Pacer game I have been to this year. They've dropped every single one. Most recently, the Hornets in spectacular fashion, I might add.
It was
spectacular. Had Pat hit the big money bet on that one.
Oh yeah.
So because I saw Pat's, I have advanced information, a little insider trading between Pat and I. I was able to see that, and I got to put it on, help Pat out, fade my own teams here at this point. Pacers, get that pick. Boston, I don't even know what you guys are doing. But I know if I have an opportunity to make Pat a little wealth, I should take that.
This is his version of bet together, win together. He may not actually be betting with us, but he is helping us get that good juju and help us win bets. So that leads to the multi-sport Hail Mary parlay of the day. It is $1 to win $23,002.70. Yes, folks, you heard that correct.
And so Dizz isn't here, so I'll just slide in and take his spot with a sheesh.
There you go. Beautiful. You're fitting in perfectly. And obviously, I'll go ahead and knock out the 2 legs there. I took the Thunder -1 versus the Pacers, and the Hawks -1.5 versus the Celtics. So essentially, the 2 teams going up against Tyler's teams, the Celtics and the Pacers, I just need those other teams just to win, basically. So, Tyler, thank you for doing that for us and helping us get closer to that $23,000 payoff.
You're welcome. A loss to the Thunder would be pretty spectacular.
It would be. I'll stay in the NBA and finish these off. So I got Pistons +3 versus the Magic, Hornets -7 versus the Lakers, Pelicans +5.5 versus the Nuggets, Grizzlies -4 versus the Jazz, Rockets +2 versus Trailblazers, Clippers, Heat over 210.5 points, Spurs +1.5, Timberwolves +8.5 versus the Suns, and Knicks +9 versus the Bucks. And finally, the last 5 on the NHL. I got the Red Wings plus 1.5 versus the Penguins, the Rangers money line versus the Wild, the Avalanche money line versus the Blackhawks, Bruins Coyotes over 6, and the Stars money line versus the Capitals.
Sorry, I'm trying to get the proper lighting in here.
It's all good. It's all
good enough.
Yeah.
I look tan now. Whatever, it's fine.
Tyler, do you have anything you need to get off your chest before we send these folks into a wonderful weekend?
I wish I had a conspiracy theory for tonight. I'm sure next time I go to a Pacer game, I will have one once again. I mean, I guess the shirts are conspiracy theory enough.
Yeah, very well could be. Very well could be.
I just want to say thank you for showing your Football Friday support there.
That's right, baby.
I'm guessing Dizz is done for the night, not coming back at all.
Correct. Dizz had to. He said he was going to stay on during the Target run, but then it just proved to be too much for him, so he had to depart. So yes, Dizz will not be coming back tonight.
All right, that's fair. I will stop being long-winded, wasting time. I've been trying to stall, thinking Dizz was coming back.
No. He's done. He's gone. So we can wrap this up. But thank you all for listening. We really appreciate it. Make sure you check us out on Twitter and Instagram at SportsBetByDumb. Also, go to the YouTube. Search Sports Betting by Dummies in the YouTube search. Filter by channel. We should be the first one on there. Look for the black and yellow logo. You cannot miss it. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for riding with us. Hope everyone has a nice, long, profitable weekend, and we will see you all on Monday.